guys. Anyways, today's focus is how to improve the ollie. That was a complete fail, but it doesn't matter. So today I was sent a video on the DMs on Instagram, profe.carlos, where the guy was explaining he feels unstable and like the board detaches when he does the ollie. And so a couple things, if you're going through a similar situation, or experiencing a similar situation, you want to make sure that you are feeling stable over the lead foot, which is something I mentioned a lot. But just to clarify, you know, if you have your foot leaning towards the heel side and it has you kind of turning as you're doing the ollie, that might that's not going to give you the stability you need so that you can get a good snap, right? Because instead of snapping from a flat surface, you're snapping from angled surface. So if you want to come over here, just I feel like it's loud out there. Instead of popping from a flat surface, you're popping from an uneven surface, which doesn't give you know, a good reaction, a good snap. And so first things first, make sure you're over that lead foot and you're putting pressure closest to the center, the invisible center line your board has, right? So we don't want to even go too far and go towards the toe side, because then when we ollie, you know, we could be kind of jumping, forcing ourselves to jump forward, right? So we want to make sure we're jumping straight up, right? So the way you can make sure that happens is as you're squatting down for the ollie, if your board is staying leveled out, you're in a good position. If you're squatting for the ollie, but your board starts tilting to the toe side or to the heel side, that's when you know you need to change the position of that front foot so that you can be stable as you go down. Now to focus on the back foot, making sure, same thing, the placement of the back foot isn't having you lean to the right or towards the heel or towards the toe. So it's just about finding that placement on the center line, right here. So that when you ollie, you're going straight up and down. Okay, now that we talked about the foot placement, a little bit of some things to keep in mind as you're rolling. As you're rolling, it's real easy to build on top of habits that have you, that have you going toe side or heel side. So you want to make sure that once you feel comfortable, just placing that, like having that posture, centering yourself, like in a stationary position. I want you to start with the front foot in that foot placement and push from there, and then slowly adjust the back foot. A lot of people, when they're first starting out, can be like Mongol pushers, so they'll have so much adjustment to do. Like they'll have to go to their front foot, adjust, and then the back foot adjust. Let's skip those steps and just have the front foot placed already, push, and all you have to worry about adjusting is the back foot. So you're just kind of giving yourself less problems to sort out in your head. So once you're comfortable with that, you can add speed and you can try it off of, or maybe over like little lines, off of small edges. And this isn't necessarily for someone who doesn't even know how to ollie. It's just someone who feels like they can have more improvement on their snap. All right, so now we covered front foot, back foot. I want to talk a little bit about how your body should be engaged, right? I mentioned a good amount about like engaging the core and the hip. So basically making sure you're like this for most of the time, right? So think about, once you go down, you're staying in this position, and what is generally moving is your ankle, right? So that it can have the board come up. But as it comes up, you're just kind of in this position the whole time, even until you land. Sometimes, obviously, we don't have, like we're just doing a regular ollie, we don't have to engage it so exaggerated, but if you want to take it upstairs, it's a good habit to learn, because once you get real comfortable with that, ollieing off of stuff just feels way more safe, right? And the board is closer to your foot the whole time, right? I like to think about it in terms of engaging your body and disengaging it. So this is an engaged position. This is a disengaged position. And so if you find yourself just using a lot of your knees, but this is kind of still extended, that's where you need some work. You need to also, on top of using the knees, use the hips and engage the top half of the body. How are we on time?
5.5 minutes.
Wow, I talk a lot, right? Okay, so we covered the front foot, back foot, engaging the body. Now, the core, I want to talk about where your shoulders should be placed. Now, a lot of people, and you can show the whole body right here. A lot of people, or even from there is fine.
All right, it's like a little.
Or it's up to you. Yeah.
All right.
I just want to see how I open. So basically, it's okay to start off in this open position, but it's important that you maintain that same position the whole time, so that you don't have yourself, you see, like moving front side or back side. You want to, whatever position you choose to be in, whether it's a closed off one, square, you start and end in that position instead of going closed off and jumping forward or backward. You think that makes sense a little bit?
A little bit,
like
yeah.
Staying in the same position you started with. So if you start here, you want to aim to jump up and go back down in that same position instead of going up, closing off, because that's gonna have you like turning backwards.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, wherever your top half of the body is turning, that direction is where the board's gonna follow.
That makes more sense.
Most of the time, because like let's say you're jumping forward, the board isn't gonna do this like most of you know what I mean? Like the board is following you. So if actually I just thought of something like if you lean too far forward and you pop, the board's gonna leave you. And so in that case it's not. But as far as doing ollies, most of the time if the board is turning, it's because your body is turning prematurely. And so, okay, we covered the core, top half of the body, back foot, front foot. Now I want to talk about making sure that you're giving yourself a breather between every attempt. So instead of, instead of doing the trick and then getting so frustrated and trying it over and over again without like being patient and giving yourself a breather between every try, I want you to, if you find yourself in this like frantic state of mind, just get off the board, take a deep breath, get back on, give a solid try, and make sure you're covering all those things that I just mentioned, right? Making sure you're stable, both feet engaged with the core, same position from start to land, and you should be set up in a perfect way to improve your ollies. Consistency is key, but if you're doing something bad consistently, then it's only going to frustrate you more, right? So on top of consistency, you want to make sure that you're always improving upon upon the problems you find, right? So a lot of us understand what repetition means, but we don't really hear about reiteration. Have you heard about that?
Reiteration.
Or like iteration?
No, I've heard reiteration.
Okay,
more,
basically,
yeah.
Reiteration is when you repeat with small adjustments to improve.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like
right.
you can be practicing the same trick over and over again, but if you're doing it with the bad habits of leaning to the left or towards the heel side or toe side, you're repeating to your detriment. You want to reiterate so that it can benefit you. So the repetitions, have you improving instead of just stuck in the same place. You know what I mean? Some things I suggest you do so that you can make sure you're improving in the ollie, aside from what I mentioned, is making sure you're trying this in different situations. So like slightly going downhill, slightly going up a bank, going off of small like a small ledge, And if you're someone who's more advanced and can jump down a set of stairs or even do an ollie off a ramp, I want you to think about how what I just mentioned applies to those situations. You know, because doing an ollie isn't limited to just flat ground. It's all terrain. It's transition. It's quarter pipe. It's whatever you skate. You know what I mean? And moving forward, these things also are applying, or can it be applied? Like, think of it as a checklist. If you go down the checklist of everything I mentioned, those things can also be found in, how do I say? Those things can also be checked off as you try to improve other tricks, whether that's you know, regular stance kickflip, switch flip, straight flip, nollie, fakie. It all applies. Stabilizing on that center line, engaging the hips, the core, making sure you're starting off where you ended out, and it gets a bit tricky, or not tricky, but there's a little more nuance once you start rotating your body, rotating the board, flipping it, stuff like that, or skating off of obstacles. How are we on time?
11 minutes
Let's
and
go.
25 seconds.
All right, so hearing me explain that, I'm catching you off guard, I know. But what would you say I can clarify, or like, what are some questions you have? Personally.
Like in regards to just like ollies?
Yeah, pretty much just ollies. Like, what are some things you either feel I can clarify, or some things that you don't think I made clear?
Maybe you could talk about like how to incorporate them when you're actually doing it, like onto maybe like an obstacle,
Onto obstacle?
or
Okay.
like ledges, mani pads, like
Perfect.
all follows through.
Yeah, because obstacles are not just like flat surfaces.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna ollie onto it because I'm kind of injured right now. But what I will say is how this applies is making sure that you're allowing the speed to get you on top of an obstacle, right? So instead of having the inclination to think about your body jumping forward, so like from here to here, I want you to think about just jumping straight up and down, right? And allow the speed itself to take you from point A to point B, right? Because a lot of times you see everything working when it's on flat or on a like very comfortable surface, but once you take it onto obstacles or those same, you try to take those same adjustments, concepts, however you want to look at them, onto an obstacle, it kind of goes out the window because of hesitation, fear, inconsistency. You might have it dialed down like one day, but then you don't skate for a week and you go back to it, and so you have to like make sure you're holding on to those concepts so that when you take it onto an obstacle, you're comfortable adding one more concept, which is just jumping straight up and down, right? Instead of jumping forward, because that's gonna mess up, or that's gonna throw off everything we just talked about. Thank you, bro. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great. Shout out the other Carlos. I'm Carlos. He's Carlos too.
Carlos
Tocayos.
too.
If you guys didn't know, if someone has your same name, you can refer to them as Tocayo. I think it's spelled T-O-C-A-Y-O. Tocayo. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think
so.
Yeah, my dudes. I don't know. What do you think? What else? Carlos is like, I don't want to film it.
No, it's okay. I'm trying to see like what else you could talk about.
What if we just do a tour of the shop?
Yeah, we could give a little.
Just give a tour, instead of. Actually, if you have questions on this topic or how to improve your ollies, you can either comment it on the YouTube comments or send me a DM on profe.carlos. It's profe.carlos. Profe.carlos. That's where I pretty much just dedicate all my time to answering questions. I go on lives there. It might help you. And yeah, you can ask more there. This topic actually came about because of a DM I got this morning. So every morning, most mornings actually, if I don't go straight to skating or if I'm hurt, like in this case, I'll make my coffee and then I'll look at my DMs and then I'll go on live and I'll respond to you guys. And so if you think that can be a help to you and get some quick feedback, check it out. profe.carlos on Instagram. Now, we're gonna give a little shop tour. So inner cities at Lincoln, Cypress. Actually, no, we're not at Lincoln, Cypress. We're on Broadway, and I think that's it, right?
I think that's the closest train station to here.
Yeah, so Lincoln Cypress is the closest train station, A-line, but we're on Broadway, close to Lincoln Skate Park. We just relocated here from the corner up the street. And yeah, what we have are Adidas, small Adidas wall. We got some Vans, Converse, Asics. What else? We got some Americas. They just had a demo here at Lincoln at the shop. We got New Balance, the shoes I skated before I was skating Splay. My favorite ones from these are the 440s. Oh, these are the 480s. Where are the 440s? These? No, these are Jim Floyd.
Oh, I think they're at the top.
Oh, they're up here. These were my go-tos, but they're a little too narrow for me. So I had to get a half size bigger the whole time. But and then we got some clothes here. What is this one?
Just like Nike shorts.
Oh, Nike. We got Nike apparel. Yeah. We got some Dime. Are these black tees?
Yeah.
Oh, I might actually get some of these.
Yeah, we have them in white too.
No way, you got more?
We have we have those.
What? I might actually get these because I saw Austin wearing them.
Oh, really?
And they look so comfortable. Okay, we got that. They have an online shop, huh? You guys have?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so there's Inner City. This is my favorite hat, but I mess it up so quick because it's not like a hard brim or anything. Got more stuff there, more stuff here. We got Dickies there. We got Nike. Every other shoe company needs to step up their game because Nike's killing it. And we need to share the pie, you know what I mean? We got Thrasher. We got Boardwalls. So if you want to check us out, we're in Broadway. Hi guys, welcome. And we're going to end the video because we got some homies here. Peace out. I'll see you in the next one. Latest.